Welcome back to Bull Sessions here on 680 KFEQ. You can email your questions or comments to bull@willcross.net. Once again, here's Randy Baker and agronomist Brad Law.
Okay, Brad, they let us come back. Miles didn't run us off here after that first segment.
Well,
in your rant. Was you finished yet? Or
no.
Oh.
We left off where we're talking about the gold bars.
There's more.
Okay. We were talking about the, things when you're buying and selling stuff online or whatever of annoyances, people offering a low ball offer and people listing things with no price and no pictures and if you're trying to buy or whatnot. And we talked about the out-of-state checks, how
you don't deal with that.
But I do take gold bars and I do take cash. So we've got two
established
payment
monetary
methods.
Yes, I get it.
And then I've got one more. Have a guy come and interested in an item, first person that called, first person there, and they don't bring any cash with them. And it's something you need a truck to pull home, and they don't bring a truck.
He brought his car and no money.
And no money.
Okay.
So that doesn't work. But, other than my rants here, we need to
wrong
move
with
on.
That? Maybe he was just wanting to negotiate.
Well, maybe he was lonely.
Maybe he was, and he come to see you.
Yeah.
You're never lonely, though.
No. I got voices in my head to
You
keep me
do.
company.
It's
but we've got a
frightening.
real show to do.
We do, sometime
we've got
today.
Something that's... Oh, and see, Miles got some more pretty music.
He did.
Yeah.
He is getting so good at that.
Do you know this song?
I do. I've heard it, believe it or not. It's Alan Jackson, right?
No, it's not. It's John Cougar Mellencamp.
Right.
Small Town. Okay.
We're into small towns.
You grew up in a small town.
I did. Union Star, Missouri.
And I grew up and am still around King City, Missouri.
Yes, you are.
Working in King City, Missouri. So we're going to talk about small town communities and just
how important they are.
And people say there's nothing going on in these small towns, but really there is quite a bit of things going on.
There's a lot of life being led there.
When I think about events in town, I go back and I think about the Young Farmers Tractor Pull there in King City. It's always the Saturday night before Father's Day, and up there across from the park at the up by the rodeo grounds. I remember as a kid always going up to that.
Yeah.
I remember in high school I even helped take gate on it a few times. And
it's still going on.
And people bring tractors in from Iowa, Nebraska, Kansas, and sometimes even further.
That's part of that Northwest Tractor Pullers Association, isn't that right?
And, and those tractors, they travel and hit all these little small towns, and it's something to go out to do, and it's different each time because track conditions always change, and people work on their tractors and change weights they can change weights. They work on their tractors every week.
Oh, yeah.
So it makes it nice. And I mean, it's just kind of cool to go out and see something when they're blowing a bunch of black smoke.
That black smoke.
I like black diesel smoke.
You do.
I do.
I know you do.
I mean, it's just something that when you get black diesel smoke, that's a good time.
It is. The EPA and you get along well.
Now,
small towns,
and then about that. Well, that tractor pull was always on Saturday night before Father's Day. Well, then the Sunday of Father's Day, you go just north of King City to Stanberry.
Yeah.
And they have the Father's Day car show every year.
Yes, they do.
And that is packed.
I know people that take cars there that it's a big deal. They look forward to it.
It is. And you can see all that. And it's right there in the small town.
They have a fireworks show up there, the 4th, that's big.
And they also do a Christmas, when Santa comes into the bank there, into November, first part of December, they usually do that. Now, up there at that tractor pull track at King City, right across the way is the rodeo arena.
Yeah.
And that has been coming back to life. When I was in high school, it was getting kind of worn down. and they have really revamped that.
They have. Cleaned it up.
The Saddle Club and some others have put a lot of work into it, and they're having, I think, high school rodeos. And we set up there at Farmers Market, and there were several several times during the summer that, I mean, the whole parking lot there was full of trucks and trailers and horses.
Oh,
and
yeah. They do ropings up there pretty regular. Barrel race.
And it was something that people got to get out and do something they enjoyed right here that they can't do in the big city. And, so there is stuff going on. We support some rodeos, too, at Willcross. There's several of those. There's some of them that go all over the state and even get over into Illinois. We've got a banner out there, and it's a good thing. We are big supporters of small towns. We're not trying to toot a horn or nothing, but Willcross Seed is a big supporter of that, and many of all the small towns around King City, which is where we're at right now, and Chillicothe and Garden City, but that's it's important to us. It's important to continue to do that. Well, and we were talking about, we did our combine clinic there in town at the visitor center.
Yes.
And they've got the big windmill blades and all that, the other alternative energy little tour on the other side. They got that meeting area. Well, they also do live music shows there throughout the summer.
1 weekend a month.
And, so there's something that people can go out and do things in these small communities that, it's right there.
Isn't that show the third Saturday of the month or something like that? I believe that's what it is. We need to check that out and I guess plug that because it is a very entertaining thing. I know a lot of people that go there.
And, I'm a big music fan, and that's something that's...
Alan Jackson, right? Or John Cougar Jackson, whatever his name was.
Mellencamp.
Okay.
And did you know he was one of the starters of Farm Aid?
Really?
Yes.
Oh, yes. I didn't know that.
Yeah. And
Willie Nelson and that
he's in with that group.
Okay.
So
that's good.
Then we were, up there at where that visitor center is. It's also there by the museum grounds.
You bet. We've had several shows or things we've done up there.
And then there at the museum grounds, what is it, the third Saturday in September every year, they have the Living History Day. And that is just a neat thing where they have they have the big pump. They have the petting zoo.
Right.
They have all the buildings with all the stuff. They've got vendors and kettle corn. They had inflatables.
You was there selling your wares.
Well, we were selling.
You're always selling something. The more I know you, you've always got something for sale.
This was actually for the boys. We had pumpkins and popcorn and peppers and a few tomatoes. Ornamental corn. And but they have an old cabin up there. And they had what was really neat that I like is they have some sheep. And there's no fences up there. And they set up these few panels, and they open up a stock trailer, and they let a bunch of sheep out. And they've got this...
I don't know where he's going with this, Miles, but I'm getting nervous. What about you?
Well, and it's right there along the highway. But they have this guy with two border collies. And they run...
That's cool, yes.
And you get to watch he just... whistles or whatever, and he herds those sheep backing around.
I've seen that. That's
that
good
is neat.
Entertainment.
My boys love seeing that, to see the dog and to see the sheep, and that was good.
I really enjoy watching that, too. Their dogs are amazing. You've got one that helps you with cattle somewhat when you had them.
Yeah, well, she got rolled a few times, and that hurt her and me when that happened.
Yeah.
So, but we're also, when we look at these small towns, what impresses me and what is so cool is look at the number of churches in these small towns.
Yeah.
Okay. How many?
That's very important to me. I love that, those small town churches.
Okay. Just around King City, I counted just 4 or 5 inside the city limits, and then there's several outside the city limits that people go to.
Oh, yeah.
You know, that's really good for a town of around 1,000 people.
It is.
You know, and Union Star's got 2.
Yeah. I remember the day there was 4, though. When I growing up there, we had 4. Something going on every night of the week.
Well, and then when you get the churches, you got all the groups in the church that have, you know, their prayer breakfasts, their ladies' clubs, the
men's groups,
the harvest dinners that are coming up.
Yeah.
And that's just...
They still have one of them up at King City, the harvest dinner out there on the prairie.
Yep. They have one in King City, and they have one out at Star Chapel on the Methodist Church.
Right.
So there's good events and things that are right there in the backyard that their local communities are putting on.
Have you ever ate finer cooking in your life than at those things? Anytime churches gather, there's usually a meal involved.
A meal or a birthday dinner or ice cream social and homemade ice cream. I mean, I'm getting hungry, Randy. We're going to have to take a break
we're still on the air, Brad.
Well,
later.
We can't go and get some homemade ice cream and come back. I really like homemade ice cream.
Maybe later.
Okay. Well, maybe you can take me by Baskin Robbins on the way home or something.
Yeah, we could do that.
We can do that. Okay.
Yeah. Brad, I like this subject.
Okay.
It's a wonderful subject. It's something important to me. I know it is you. But we got to sneak off here for a little bit. But when we come back to Bull Sessions, we're going to talk more about that on 680 KFEQ.